All right. Happy Monday, everybody. Welcome back to another live stream. We're outside. It's a beautiful day here in California, and we're going to enjoy the weather and work on our 200T here. Beautiful day. Blue sky, sun shines, warmer weather. We are in spring now, so it's going to start getting warmer. So got to make the most of it. Hey, we got Grayson, Nichols, and Grant in the house. What up, y'all? Happy Monday. Welcome. Hope you guys are doing good today, and hopefully you guys had a good weekend. And hopefully you guys find yourselves with some nice warmer weather as well, because it sure is beautiful here in Cali. Although I hear that we're due to get more rain. I'm not sure if this week or next week, but we are supposed to get more rain. But like I always say, I'll believe it when I see it. And we got IBS Win in the house. What up, y'all? What up? Got a little late start to the live stream, but it's all good. We're still here. Had to get a couple things done before I did the live stream. But we here. All right. So what's going on with everybody? As usual, I'm gonna wait a little bit just to see who all joins in before I go ahead and get started. Although I'm gonna be here for a little bit. I'm gonna go until about 1 o'clock. Everything that I'm doing today shouldn't take too long anyway, so should be done before then. And the only reason I'm saying 1 o'clock, you guys already know, my girlfriend's sister comes home for lunch around 1 o'clock, like 1:15. And although we've talked about it and everybody's cool with me on saws here, of course I can't have the whole shop here, but I can do stuff here. So I just do my best to do it. I just try to be out of the way before everybody gets home and keep things organized and clean and all that. But sometimes it's just better to just do our best to stay out of sight, out of mind. So, because it can be overwhelming seeing a bunch of parts everywhere. And so got the 200, just picked it up out of storage this weekend, actually on Friday. So this one is our personal 200T. This is the one that I got through a trade. I traded 2 steel AP500S batteries, and I got the 200T here and a 201 M-Tronic. So I just picked up the 200T, and I haven't gone through it yet. I know it runs because I started it up when I was out in the storage unit, or the container, I should say, my buddy. And oh, let me turn off the Wi-Fi here. I forgot to do that. Grant, I appreciate you saying something because I totally forgot to, like I said, turn off the Wi-Fi. So let me know if it's better. Hopefully it is, because that will be a factor. It usually kind of is though, and I feel bad about that. But hey, and we got, I don't know how to say the username because it's in Bulgarian, but they say hello from Bulgaria. My friend, hello, welcome, and much love to you and everybody out in Bulgaria. So, okay, it looks like we're good now. So like I was saying, so I got this 200T through a trade for 2 steel batteries, AP500S batteries. All I know right now is that it does run. It runs pretty damn good. It just needs, right now it just needs a cleaning. but I'm gonna go ahead and just do a quick inspection just to see the condition of the cylinder, the piston, and pretty much everything else, and then just give it a clean. It does need a few things. It's missing this little rubber piece here that covers up the adjustment screws or the needles or the jets. Air filter looks good. I did see that. And then everything else right now is just cosmetic. So eventually I do want to get a new clutch cover. The handguard is really nice. It's in good condition. It still has the original safety sticker on it. The rewind starter looks good. So the fan housing looks good. The cord is fine. It's not frayed. It just obviously is worn out a little bit. It's a little dirty, but that's fine. I'm not worried about that. And that's pretty much it. And eventually do a couple little hop ups. So Gordy from West Coast Saw, for those of you that don't know who Gordy is, he just released a 200T muffler. So now there's two options. So there's the pipe, and then there's now a muffler, which I personally think the muffler is a lot better, because then you don't have to fabricate the muffler here. But it still does the job, but I'd rather get the muffler itself, and then eventually get the 3-point West Coast dogs. And then, if anything, really right now, the only plan would be, besides the muffler and the 3-point dogs, is to do a timing advance just to give it a little more zip. But it has really good throttle response. The carburetor that it has, to me, it seems like a newer version, like the newer version of this carburetor, because it's not the usual carburetor that I find on 200Ts. So, I mean, as long as it works fine, as long as it runs. I don't know why I like the version that I normally find, but then again, I don't really know the differences. Eventually, I want to start learning about carburetors and different model, different numbers. But if it works, it works. And then it did come with a 16-inch bar. It's a non-light bar. It's just a standard Rollomatic bar, which are the ones that I like, compared to the ones that come on the Tool ones, which is the Light 04 bars. It's not a Rollomatic, but it's fine. They work fine. So we got my buddy Nash in the back over here. Let me show you guys Nash. Let me clean off my camera first. Show you the situation here, the setup. So I'm here at the patio table, tools. As you can see, it's a beautiful, beautiful day. Plenty of blue sky and sunshine. And we got our buddy Nash here still wearing his cone. He ended up having to get one of his nails removed because somehow he, injured it, and it just kept getting worse with the rough housing with Harley, which is my girlfriend's. Well, he's also my girlfriend's dog. That's the newest addition to the family. He's a chocolate lab pit mix. And so it's just from the rough housing with Harley, which she's a purebred silver lab. And, or platinum lab. I think it's just silver lab. I'm not sure. Either way. So it kept getting worse with the rough housing. So eventually it just kind of got a little crooked. And so eventually the best thing to do was to get it removed. So, but he's doing really good. He's still hyper as usual, playing around, moving around. So we're just leaving the cone on him for a little bit, just so he doesn't try to lick his paw and mess with it. So, but he's doing really good. Let's see. All right. So how's everybody doing, man? How's everybody's weekend? What'd you guys do? What were you guys up to? Just gonna wait a little bit to get going, although it is 11 o'clock now, so we have exactly about 2 hours to get everything we're gonna do done. Got some water. In the meantime, I'll go ahead and get kind of prepared here. Still have some gloves. I need to get some more. These are the Gorilla Grip. That's what I've been using. I do like them. They just run a little big. So typically I like XL. I like a tighter, a more snug fit glove, but these seem to run a little bigger. So I do like them. I like the feel of them, but they're just a little big. So next time I get some, which I think I'll just get the Gorilla Grip brand, I'm gonna get them in a large and see how those do. And then for the cleaning, you guys already know we're big fans of the crocodile wipe, or cloth I should say, which is pretty cool because at the new place I just got hired, so Central Valley, we sell them. So we sell the regular cloths, and then we also sell the power scrub. I don't know, they're just probably more heavier duty. I'm guessing they have a more rough texture. I'm not sure, but we sell them there, so I'm excited. So I literally have everything at my disposal there. Chainsaw parts for Steel and Husqvarna, and I get a discount there, so that's always nice. So let's just go ahead and get this started. So the only thing I don't have right now here is air compressor, which you guys already know that's very important, especially when it comes down to cleaning the saws. But for this one, I think the crocodile wipes will be just perfect because it's not super dirty. So crocodile wipes will do just perfectly. And Grant says, you wear gloves? Yeah, so I think you've been around, but I started wearing gloves towards the beginning of the year just because right now, I mean, chainsaws, they're not always in it, but chainsaws do come across poison oak, and I'm highly allergic to it. And so that's why I ended up getting gloves, because I ended up getting poison oak by handling my buddy Alonzo's 440. Came in for sharpening and some cleaning, and you don't know when a piece of equipment has poison oak until you come in contact with the oil. And like I always say, if you're super allergic to it, sometimes you'll get symptoms within 24 hours, but usually symptoms come about a couple to a few days after coming in contact with poison oak. And so it is an extra expense. That's why also I'm a big rubbing alcohol user now. I keep that on hand at the shop, and when I'm working on equipment, just to dissolve any of that oil. So this is just kind of my little preventative measure. It's not going to 100% prevent me from getting poison oak, but it just reduces the risk of getting it on me. So that's why I wear the gloves now. But usually I don't wear gloves, but now I do, especially coming into spring. Things are starting to bloom, and so yeah. But I do like to get my hands dirty. Okay. So for the inspection, we're just going to do a general inspection, and then also now that I have fixed my pressure and vacuum tester, I can now go ahead and do oil seal tests. So pressure and vacuum test on the oil seals. So that's really good. I don't have any suspicion that this has oil seal leaks by the way that it runs, but it's still a good thing to find out to see if it has anything wrong with it. But it's the cylinder looks really clean. Either they didn't go, I mean, they went hard on this saw, at least just from the looks of the clutch cover. It got kind of toasty at one point. On 201s, I feel like on rear handles, the melting of the plastic here, the clutch cover, is very common. It's a very common thing, but that's easily replaced. If anything, I'll just look for, if I can, I'll just look for a clutch cover and then just take off this handguard and put it on the new one, because this handguard Has like maybe a couple little scratches on it, but it's in good condition. Everything else works good, chain brake and all that. So at this point, it's just cosmetics. So I'll put that onto the side over there. And this is the first time I'm really looking at this saw other than just handling it at the house. But I am noticing that it does need new covers. So I believe they call these covers that cover up the chain brake assembly, they call them dust covers, chain brake dust covers, brake dust covers. But either way, it just needs both covers. This little one down here that just helps protect the muffler, and then the brake dust cover here, because it definitely got some damage. But we'll check that out a little bit more right now. And I already flushed the fuel out of it, the little bit that it had left. Air filter looks really good. So they may have just did a tune-up service. Does smell like fuel. Air filter cover looks good. Let's see. But slowly getting back to, okay, so I do need the 8mm socket. So just give me 1 second, guys. I gotta grab my little 8mm for those nuts. Actually, I forgot that I have my my tool bag here. DeWalt man purse. Cool. But slowly getting into working on saws again, which is really nice because I've missed it a lot. Even though I do have a job now, aside from working on saws, it's nice to be able to start working on stuff again. And I do have something in the works as far as a new shop to really work on saws and do everything. I don't want to say too much because I don't want to, because anything can happen. It's like 90% gonna happen. I just have to work out some details. But the only thing I can say, it's not an actual brick and mortar, so it's not an actual building, but it is gonna allow me to not only store saws and work on saws as well. So I'm really excited, which I'm actually gonna go look at what I plan on doing. I'm gonna go look at it today, a little later this afternoon, and just check it out and get a feel for it. Inside the carburetor box looks really clean, really clean. Crankcase looks really nice. Still has most of its paint. Of course, it has a little bit of paint missing here, but that's pretty normal wear. Has a little chip here in the front. The gas tank plastic looks good. And so a little backstory to this 200T. The gentleman that I got it from, he was just sick and tired of gas. It seemed like he just had a really rough time keeping his equipment running, and he just had a lot of problems, so that's why he was going to gas. He's like, you know what, I'm just done with this gas. He was literally saying gas crap. But he's like, so I'd rather just go all electric. And I'm like, hey, whatever you want to do. And he was going to pay me cash for the batteries. But then we started talking. You know me, I start chatting, and I just was asking him general questions. So what do you run? What kind of equipment? And he's like, oh, I run chainsaws. I have a couple little chainsaws. And I said, okay. I said, what kind? What models? He's like, I don't know. He's like, they're just some little top like little pruning saws. And so I just kept asking him what kind, and I was like, are they 194s, 201s, what? And he's like, I don't know, it's like a 2 something. I have a cut. And I was like, oh. And one thing led to the other, and coming to find out, he had 200T, this 200T, and a 201. And of course, I did my best not to get excited, because I was asking him, well, what are you gonna do? He's like, I don't know, they're just gonna sit there in the shed. And I was like, okay. And I didn't want to get too excited and be like, oh my gosh, let me get those. I've learned to keep it contained. And just a little secret, that's the key to getting something for a good price or a good deal. Sometimes you got to act like you're not excited or you don't know what they are. So I was just like, oh, well, what do you plan on doing with them, and what? And he's like, I don't know, I'm just gonna just leave them there and whatever. And again, one thing led to another, and I said, hey, well, would you, instead of cash, would you want to trade? And he was almost like, really, you want these things? And again, I wasn't like, yeah, man, they're great saws and blah, 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 and they're worth some money. And I was like, yeah, I mean, I could see what I could do, and sure enough, here we are. Grant says, why do you take those saws apart just to clean them? The second time you use them is going to be right back unless you do it every time you use it. It's just something that I do. It's what I do. And I know it's going to get dirty at some point, but I like cleaning saws. For those of you that have been following along for some time, you guys know that that's just what I like to do. And for me, cleaning your equipment, keeping your equipment clean, whether it's chainsaws, lawnmowers, whatever it is, me, it gives your equipment more longevity. Just keeps things protected, and it's easier to catch wear and tear and things that happen. And that's just something that I've always done. I get the same question, especially when I started doing it at the power equipment shop that I worked at, where this all started. And people were like, dude, why are you cleaning a saw? It's just going to get dirty. I get that. And sometimes I try not to get that idea, because sometimes I'm like, man, why am I just sitting here tweaking on this thing? But it's just fun. It looks good. And especially for me right now, I have nothing to cut right now. So eventually, yeah, I mean, it might get tiring, but I've been cleaning saws for some time now, and it's just kind of easy for me. Even the dirtiest of saws that have came into the shop, they're just easy, especially once you find a good system. Hey, we got JC Lawn Care in the house. Says, what saw do you have? My friend, welcome. Happy Monday to you. Hope you're doing well, and hope you had a good weekend. So here I got a 200T. This is my personal 200T. This is the first time that I'm getting into it after I got it through a trade. I traded 2 steel 500 AP 500S batteries. The gentleman that I got this saw from, he was going to pay me cash for the batteries, but then he was just fed up with gas powered equipment, because it just sounds like he's had really a lot of troubles with it, and he was just over it. And so I offered, hey, well, would you trade your saws? And I got this and a 200T, 200TC, which is the M-tronic version of the 201s. And this saw does have some wear and tear on it, but from what I can tell already, the cylinder looks really, really good. It doesn't even look like it's been overheated at all. So this is the first time that I'm taking a look at it since I got it, which was the beginning of this year. Yeah, like early this year. Just because I didn't really have the time, because I always prioritize customer saws first, and then sometimes I just I lose time, and sometimes I just don't want to mess with it. And sometimes what happens is I go to mess on one of my saws, and then I get more saws that come in or parts come in, so it's just a time thing. But right now, since we're still on the slow side of things, just because of our life transition here of moving and finding a new place to work on saws, saw work is really slow. So I do have one other saw that I picked up from storage this weekend, which is my buddy Alonzo's 440, which it needs a new piston, which he already gave me the piston for it, and then it needs a new rewind spring. So, and then hopefully, if everything works out with this spot that I'm going to go look at to work on saws and to basically get the shop blowing up again and start being able to accept more saws and then finish the saws that I have in storage, then we'll just be back into more or less the full swing of things while balancing my actual 9 to 5 job now. So this now is working on saws was full time, but then winter hit, it got pretty slow, and this is how I was making a living off of, but right now it's just kind of slow, and then having to move and not having access to the shop where I was living at anymore, so it just kind of put a damper on things. So, got to keep it going. So I ended up having to get a 9 to 5 job, which I love a lot. I'm still around power equipment, although it's a building materials place / hardware store, but they also sell steel and Husqvarna. I can get any part that I need, and I get a discount, so it's really nice. Grant says, I do agree, I'm kind of a clean freak. Yeah, it's just nice to have things clean, man. And then, say you're in a pinch, right? Like, I just recently had gotten that 461, and even though I hadn't had chance to clean it up, I did. If somebody, it just makes it more appealing to somebody. If they want to buy it, then you can sell it, and it's just, I don't know, but it's just nice to have things clean. JC says 200T is a legendary saw. Yeah, man, most definitely. My buddy Noah, he goes by Vintage Tool Hoarder on Instagram. He just scored a ripper 020T, which is, for those of you that don't know, came before the 200T and the 201, which is essentially the true OG of the 200s. So, like, this is the grandpa to the 201s, and the 020 is the great grandpa to the 201s. So, he just scored himself that 020 he ended up getting that saw and I think 4 other saws for $160, which somebody else that commented on another 200T video, or on a 200T video earlier, they said they're getting 2 of these for, I think he said $30 or $60, and either way. And so I'm like, how are you guys finding these deals? And I guess it's through auctions. So I need to do my best to find an auction website or an app to get these killer deals, because we're missing out, guys. And if you guys know of any place, let me know. Hey, we got Double O in the house. Says, good morning. Are you planning to keep it or sell it? So this one, I'm definitely, right now, I'm keeping it. That's what I said about the 461, but then, life kind of took a turn and went into a transition, so I had to do what I had to do, and I didn't want to sell the 461, but I did, and I didn't have to, but I would have struggled a little bit more if I wouldn't have. But this one, I'm keeping it, because I've already sold a few saws that I'm like, man, I wish I didn't sell them, but if something happens, a family emergency, at this point, that's the only way I'm going to sell this 200T or the 201 that I got along with this 200T here through the trade. The only way I'm going to sell anything saw-wise is family emergency. So, but this one's going to be for the collection. And man, this thing is, like I said, this is the first time I'm getting into this saw since buying it. And it's clean. It looks really nice. And I haven't even cleaned it yet. So anyhow. But Double O, I hope you're doing well, man. Hope you had a good weekend and you find yourself with some beautiful weather like we are here. Blue sky, sunshine, warm. And We have another friend. It looks like Russian. I'm not sure, but hello, welcome. Happy Monday. Hope you're doing well. JC Longhair says, I want one so bad. I would take a top handle or a rear handle. And is also asking, do you repair and sell? So yes. So that's what I specialize in is chainsaws. I do everything from general services and repairs, like, well, like repairs and tune-ups, um, custom modification work, like cylinder porting or muffler modifications, timing advances, things like that. Um, I don't do too much porting right now. I've ported since I've started up my own little saw business, saw shop here. I've ported like 5 chainsaws, so it's just not something that I get a lot. But and so mainly I specialize in repairs, tune-up services, and modification work, like muffler modifications, timing advances, bolt-on mods, things like that. And then the biggest thing that I really focus on and specialize in, that really separates me from other shops here in my areas, is we do really good saw cleaning, or I do really good saw cleaning. So, but yeah, so that's what I do. All right, let's go ahead and get this flywheel off. Ooh. Which, talking about it, I need to go pick up some hardware that I ordered about a couple of weeks ago. So, muffler screws for Big Bertha, which is our personal 661C, so the M-tronic version, and then a flywheel nut for our 2511 that I need to reassemble. So yeah, got to do that. I'm gonna do that today, and then I'm gonna go look at that little spot that I want to get for the shop, so I can start working on saws more consistently and really get back into the swing of things. Okay, so let me go ahead and do the old hammer and whack on this. Although this works fine, I eventually want to get a flywheel puller. Oh, this one was easy. So there we go. Man, this thing is freaking clean, man. I don't know how that is even possible, but it is. So even though we really trust and believe in crocodile wipe cloths here for cleaning, that's all I use for cleaning is air compressor, wire brush, good old trusty pick tool, specifically the 45 degree, and what else? And then a little small flathead screwdriver just to get a little extra scraping action in. But that's about it. And for those wondering what the crocodile cloths are, they're these bad boys right here, 10 by 15 cloths. Really nice, durable. They don't tear and rip, super easy. I mean, if you sit there and try to tear it, it will tear. But, and they stay moist for a long time. They don't dry out super quick. Unless it's summertime, like I've witnessed, or, like I've experienced, they do dry out a little quicker. But either way, they're nice. All right. I'm not even gonna. Yeah, I'm still gonna take it out, because if I want to do the oil seal test, I need to take off the handle. And that's why you should wear goggles or safety glasses, which let me open the tank. I still have a lot of pressure, but they are floating around somewhere, which I should probably pull those out, because as you saw it, fuel can gush out, and that's not a good thing if you get it in your eye. All right. What kind of carburetor is this? So it's a Zama C1Q, okay. But usually they look a little different. I feel like this is a newer style or a newer version of the carburetor for the 200Ts because it's a little different than what I'm used to seeing. And this thing looks freaking clean too. I don't know what happened with this saw. I'm not complaining. But typically what I find is that when you get your stuff from older gentlemen or older people, they tend to take care of their stuff a little bit more sometimes, at least in my experience. But anyways, JC Lawn Care says, where are you located and where can I find you to buy saws? So I'm here in California in Napa County. Well, Napa, that's where I just moved here. And I do have an Instagram, so you can find me on Instagram, Preferred Saw Works. And that's probably the best way to get in touch, send me a message, or really just follow along because I do post a lot. I live on Instagram, and if I'm not on Instagram, I'm on here on YouTube. And but I've gotten better at posting on our community tab, like pictures and things like that, like before and afters. So now really our channel has turned into a Instagram page because I post a lot of pictures now, and so, but yeah, Instagram would be the best. And I also do have an eBay store, which I need to post some stuff on there because I do have a lot of stuff laying around, brand new parts. I do have some used parts. So, okay, let's go ahead and remove the muffler. I feel like typically I work pretty quick, but being that I haven't really wrenched on a saw in a few weeks, I'm just kind of taking it all in, taking my time. I do feel, if I'm being honest, I feel a little rusty. What is going on? The head of this screw must be dirty. No? Just a little rusty, I guess. All right, Grant. Much love to you, man. I appreciate you stopping by for a little bit. Like I said, I'm going to be here until at least 1 o'clock. So if you're around, you know you're always welcome. And either way, appreciate you for hanging out for a little bit. Okay, this one had Loctite on it, which is always a great sign. JC says hi. Hello, hello. Also is asking, do you have any parts for 031? That I definitely don't. I don't have, not for 031. Wow, this thing has a lot of fuel going through it, so it must be running pretty rich or something's going on here. Put that off to the side here. The cylinder head looks really good. I'm wondering if this thing got a new top end, because I mean the plastics are clearly chewed up, so it's seen some things. But the crankcase is perfect. It's got a little bit of paint missing, but nothing too major. I mean, everything to me points to that the saw has been treated good, not super abused, but this top end, it looks really good. I don't know if you guys are able to tell, but it looks really good. It's a Maul, or Molly. Maul? The inside of it too looks really good. This is going to be an easy cleanup. Or maybe they were just somebody that is like me or like us that like to clean our equipment, and it keeps things looking good and protected. But the only thing that was wrong with it when I started it is, yep, okay, so at least it's not an actual wire issue, like a wire harness issue, because it looks like the kill switch, the switch is disconnected. So when I started it up and I ran it and I went to turn it off, it won't turn off. So you have to put it in the choke position to essentially flood it out. So that's probably why it's kind of wet, because it's been getting flooded out. But the inside of the carburetor box is pretty dry, so I'm curious what's going on here. Okay, let's go ahead and remove the oil pump. Just for easier cleaning, and also so we can test the oil seals. I don't see any Loctite on those screws, so I'll make sure to put some on. I'm a firm believer in Loctite, especially for equipment, especially for chainsaws. They produce a lot of vibration, and the last thing you want is to lose any screws while you're out on the job. That's not a good thing. So me, anytime going into metal, I use Loctite. Well, it looks like at one point it did have Loctite. I see something in there. But either way, really clean, really clean. It's got those good old Bakelite seals that we all just love so much, and that is sarcasm. They're not horrible. They're just kind of tricky to install if you're not careful, of course. These things look freaking great. Okay, let's check out the piston and the cylinder sleeve. I know you guys won't be able to see it, but the piston looks great. Really good. I have a flashlight, but that's upstairs, and I don't want to run up and grab it. But the cylinder sleeve looks good. I do see some very faint striations coming in. But that could just be from running a little lean at some point, or dirty, but I don't think it would be debris at this point because the saw is really clean. Or poor mixture, or bad gas. Well, not bad gas, but just a poor mix. But it looks good. Looks really good. I'm actually surprised. So, I don't know, something makes me believe that this is not the original top end, meaning that it maybe got rebuilt. I don't know. I'm not sure. But I'm not complaining. All right, let's go ahead and get the handle removed so we can do the oil seals. So basically this one, let's go ahead and get this removed, this little ring. Don't want to lose that. So I like to use these little magnetic trays. You guys hear the birds chirping? Beautiful weather. Ugh. Okay. So even the AV buffers look really good. All right. Go ahead and disconnect this line for the tank vent. Although, actually, you know what? I could probably just take the tank vent off. Push the little boot through. And you got to be careful when taking off the handle, because there is a line that connects into the handle on the side here, which I believe is the impulse. So just be very careful when removing the handle. You see it there? This one right here? This guy? No. This one right here. So don't just yank it off. Got to be careful with that line. It's a snug line. That's good. There we go. The line also looks really good too. It's not rotted or nothing. Dry it out. It's good. She good. All right. Oh yeah, the connector. Actually, I'll just go ahead and remove the connector for the wire from here. And then I won't have to go into the molding. Although I do clean inside the molding as well, but for now, not too worried about it. Okay. So there is the handle. It actually looks pretty clean inside from what I can see just from down here. The back of it looks good too. So here is the tank housing and the crankcase. Mounts look good. Like I said, the buffer looks good. I believe that's what they call it, buffer. So but yeah, hopefully everybody's doing well out there today. I really appreciate everybody that's here hanging out, taking time out of your busy days to hang out and see what we got going on, enjoying the beautiful day with us. So really appreciate everybody. Let me see. We got Dmas Y says hi from Russia. Russia, 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 Russia. Hello and much love to you and everybody in Russia, 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 Russia. Okay. So at this point, just so we can block off the exhaust port, now I'm going to go ahead and separate the crankcase from the tank housing. So it's pretty simple. Got some people running some power equipment over here. Landscapers, making sure the neighborhood looks good, making sure the hood looks good. So basically it's pretty simple from here to remove the crankcase from the tank housing. So it's these two screws here and the two on the bottom there. And then underneath this little cover, underneath here, under this little cover, which you just flip out or you pry up or off, there's 4 T27s, but for that we're gonna just, I think I'm gonna take it off. I should walk out there and say, hey, do you guys need any power equipment service? We got Tobias Quinn in the house, says one hundo. This guy looks chill. Hey man, appreciate you. Happy Monday to you, and hopefully you had a good weekend and also find yourself with some beautiful weather like I do here in California. Clear blue sky, plenty of sunshine, some warmer weather, which is nice. Let's see, let me take a little quick screenshot here. I'm taking a screenshot because, man, you guys got this live stream popping right now. The amount of viewers that we have right now, you guys already know the spiel, and I know some might say, yeah, sure, whatever, bro. But we're here because we just like to hang out, share the experience, share the journey. We're not here for the views. Of course, we appreciate it, but man, you guys are awesome right now. It's jumping from, right now we got 160 folks, upwards of almost 250. I don't remember the last time I had a live stream like this. And I'm blessed to have any amount of viewers. You know, we do have viewers, but the amount that we have right now, you guys are awesome. You know, even though I'm not here for the views, obviously it feels good that, you know, so many people are interested in what we're doing, and really the goal is that hopefully, you know, just by my experience, I can hopefully teach you guys a little something. And I learn a lot from you guys too, believe it or not. I really do. I've learned a lot from doing our live streams and connecting with so many of you. It's been really a great journey. You know, we've only had our YouTube channel, and when I say ours, I mean yours and mine. We've only had it for not even a year. It'll be 1 year in July that I decided, hey, I'm going to start a YouTube channel, because I was told by coworkers and just others that I tend to have an okay way of showing how to do things. I like doing things. I like teaching everybody how to do stuff, just based off of my experience and knowledge. And like right now, dude, 295, that's insane. That's insane. And so I was like, you know what? Yeah, I'll start a YouTube channel. And I really and truly did not expect the amount of people that have been supporting and everything. It's just been amazing, and I really appreciate everybody that continues to just love and support the channel, and to everybody that has recently joined and joined our YouTube family here. It's been incredible. So, and I really do mean that sincerely. I mean, it's been crazy. Our channel is almost almost at 3,000 subscribers. I know in the YouTube world that's not, that's not much, but to me, it's like having 1 million subscribers. That to me it's insane. So just thank you guys. So, and our live streams really, they're I really enjoy doing them. Even if we don't have a lot of saw work to do, I mean, I still like to come on here because I've met so many of you, even though we haven't met in person or know each other in the real world outside of YouTube. I really look forward to being with you guys, hanging out, and it's just great. So, because we do a little everything here. We do saws, we do life, we do, shooting the breeze type of stuff, and it's been an incredible ride. So, Serpa TCB says, what are we working on, brother? So 200T here. This is our personal 200T. I got this through a trade along with the 201 TC. I traded 2 steel AP500S batteries for these. They were going to pay me cash, but then I figured out that they had these, and I was like, hey, would you be interested in a trade? And they're like, really? You want these things? Yeah. So 200T, this is my first time actually getting into it, because right now I have a little time, and because normally I prioritize customer saws, but finally getting into it, and man, I feel like I scored a butte here because it is really nice. Really, really nice. We got Liam in the house says, hi, I am sorry. Guys, Liam and I go back, and so he's a good dude. Liam, I love you. Just get a little annoying sometimes. Hey, I give him shit though, so don't think I'm just being a dick for no reason. So Liam and I, we go back. We go back. Dimus Y says, cool, just take your time when assembling. Exactly. So, it's good to work in a timely fashion, especially when it comes to customer saws, but the end goal is to do it right, do a thorough job, and do quality work, because sometimes when you rush through things, you don't catch mistakes. And I've made mistakes by rushing. And it just usually makes you lose more time. Well, not lose time, but actually lose time and creates more work. So definitely always got to take your time. Doesn't matter how comfortable you are taking saws apart. I mean, I've worked on quite a few 200s, 201s, top handles, and, I feel like I quote unquote know my way, but, that's how mistakes are made. So definitely take your time. That's good advice. So if anybody, is out there getting started, that's good advice. Hey, we got the man, Ground Pounder, in the house. Yo. Happy Monday, man. Hope you're doing good out there. It's good to see you out there in some trees. Things are hopefully thawing out, and hopefully business is booming again, which I know it is, and it will. So if you guys don't know the man, Ground Pounder, I guess you just don't know. No, I'm just kidding. No, Ground Pounder's an awesome dude. I met him through doing our live streams through YouTube. He's just another good fella, good guy. He is the man when it comes down to tree service out in Michigan, good old Michigan. Same thing, just a guy sharing the experience and the journey, hanging out, good people. So if you guys want to catch some funny live streams, which same thing, you don't know what you're gonna get, but it's always a good time. So if you guys have any interest, maybe check out the man, Ground Pounder, and yeah, that's all I got to say. Met a lot of great people, though. A lot of great people through our live streams, and some of the people that I have met and that I can say that they're buddies of mine, and I can say that they're buddies, and that I communicate with. They're people that I started watching on YouTube, like Aaron, Married with Small Engines. So Erica from Married with Small Engines. Just a lot of people, okay? Not just YouTubers, just good people. Just like everybody that's here watching today. So, and everybody that watches. So it's just great community, and most importantly, it all comes with treating people right. And that's all it is. I know it's a tricky thing sometimes. We run out of patience, or whatever the case may be, we're having a bad day, but treating people right goes a long way. being consistent goes a long way, and just being a person, man. Just be you, you know. Okay, so here it is. Top end crankcase separated from the tank housing, which when I clean top handles, or really any saw, but especially top handles, I do like separating the crankcase from the tank housing, especially when it comes to cleaning. That way you can get inside here really easy and just make your life easier, you know. And it's more practice, more experience taking things apart. You know, don't try to cut corners by not taking off a hose or a part. Just take it off, man, you know. So struggle less, make your life easier. Or really any saw, you know, just do your best to unassemble it and it'll be easier experience. And Liam, dude, you're all good. Ground Pounder says it's snowing. Damn, man. Just can't get away from that snow. Poor dude's been, not going to say he's dying, but he's been struggling with that snow over there, trying to get back into the trees and into the wood. And he's getting slow, you know, he's slowly getting back into it, but it's been a challenge. It's been going a little crazy over there. Okay, and actually, you know what? Let me take off the spark plug, because then I can get an idea of what the intake side of the cylinder sleeve looks like. Really, the best way to get a real good idea of what your cylinder sleeve looks like is to just remove. Man, this thing's getting a lot of fuel. Whew. And I feel like the mix on this saw is not very, whatever gas and this is where it gets tricky. So this was sitting at my buddy Victor's container. It's currently my storage unit, which is 40 minutes away. And I'm like, hey man, can I borrow a little drop of gas? And he's like, yeah. He's like, you already know where the containers are. And the thing is, guys, you got to be careful when you borrow fuel from somebody else or have somebody mix your fuel, because you just don't know how long the gas has been sitting there or how well they mixed it. He runs a tree service, so they know what they're doing, but sometimes you don't know basically the what am I going to say? Integrity of the gas or just the condition of the gas, you know? So like, for instance, this smells really, I feel like it doesn't have as much. I feel like the mix is a little skim here, you know, or the fuel might be kind of degrading a little bit. So you just got to be careful, you know, just got to be careful. So a lot of the guys that I know, even though their company provides fuel and mix, they mix their own stuff. They bring their own gas, their own, you know, they do everything themselves, because you just don't know. People are in a hurry, you know, gas cans get mixed up, whatever, and then that's how things happen. Ground Pounder says you can laugh, it's okay. All right, we got permission. You got to be careful, man. Ground Pounder also says, I had a project scheduled for tomorrow and need to reschedule because of the snow. Ugh, that's frustrating. Sheesh. The man GP, we just call him GP. Ground Pounder, GP is fine. At first, I was like, GP. When I first met, I was like, GP, like general population? No, I really did, though. But Ground Pounder, it's a badass name. There's also a guy out there that goes by the name of Saw Smasher. I haven't seen that dude in a while. I haven't heard from him in a while. I haven't seen much of him in a while, which is a good thing. So, anyhow. But no, man, thank you. I hope you have a good day, too. And hopefully you can get to that project tomorrow, weather permitting, of course. And Liam, it's all good, man. No worries. We'll move on. We're moving on. Dolo says, also, it's bad to switch from mineral to full synthetic engine oil. It's cheap out of carbon buildup. Yeah, so that's, you know, so in my saws, my personal saws, I keep everything the same. So I run the same fuel, the same mix. If I'm running full synthetic, because that's all I run, I just do your best to just keep it consistent. You know, not switch from like an SAE blend, you know, like a semi-synthetic or whatever, to a full synthetic, and then ethanol gas and ethanol-free gas. So, and I run all ethanol-free. So yeah, that is a good point. All right, let's go ahead and get these oil seals tested here. Let me take off this boot. Oh yeah, these are the boots that don't have the screws. Like the Tool ones, they do. They're held on by 4 T27s. And also I said I was going to check the inside of the, try to get an idea of the intake side of the, don't have my flashlight out here, but let me move into the sun real quick. Yeah, this thing is nice. So either they really knew how to run the saw, but again, the wear and tear has me think otherwise. I mean, it's not super discolored. I mean, it did get a little toasty at one point. Clutch cover got a little toasty, but that's just from the muffler. But as far as the top end goes, cylinder head, no, unless my eyes are going bad, which they probably are, but no indications of it getting hot or overheating. The cylinder sleeve looks almost perfect. It does have some slight little faint striations going in, coming in on the right hand side of the intake side, but nothing major, very faint. But that could have been from the gas that I was running right now, because again, I don't know how long that gas has been sitting there. I assumed that it was fresh, and I always ask, is it fresh? But they're like, yeah. But sometimes you lose track of gas cans and whatnot. So, but soon it'll be running the good stuff here. So I like to run VP's 4-cycle ethanol free mixed to a 50-to-1 ratio with AMSOIL's full synthetic. That's what I like. That's what works for me. And so yeah, that's what I like. Okay. I like it like that. All right, so it's 12 o'clock, so we're down to an hour. And like I said, the only reason I'm trying to be done by 1 o'clock is so that way, for those of you that know, you guys already know, but my girlfriend's sister comes home for lunch around 1:15, 1 o'clock, and I try to just get all my stuff done, all my chaos, all my craziness done before everybody gets home. Man, it feels good to have this thing back, because it was broken, and coming to find out, I took it apart, and it was just lack of lubrication. So the O-ring that sits around the piston that moves up and down in here inside the cylinder, it was coming out of place because it had too much friction. And so thankfully it was just that, and not the little valve inside where it switches between vacuum and pressure. So it's doing good now. So now I know I just have to every now and then open it up and lube it up a little bit, just because sometimes fuel will get sucked in, and that basically washes away all the grease in there. So we got, I believe it's Russian, I'm not sure. They're asking, how are you? I'm doing good. Happy Monday to you, and welcome. Doing good. Enjoying this beautiful weather. Okay, let's see what block off I'm going to use for this. I think this one works. Yes, it does. Okay. So we need muffler screws, which are these guys right here. I don't know why that one had a washer and the other one didn't. That's interesting. It's a little block off plate. So this works for various models. Thankfully it works for this one, but they do sell specific ones. But the kit, and this is all steel, They do come with some block off plates and testing flanges. So let's see, where's the other screw? But thankfully this block off plate that they included in the kit works for the 200Ts, but it does not fit the 201s. All right. You want to make sure that the block off plate is nice and tight on the cylinder, and you don't want to over tighten the screws. Just give them a nice hand snug. Anytime tightening down your screws, you don't want to over tighten. Let's see. Oh, let me put the spark plug back in. So we have complete block off. And they do sell, I don't know if Thiel makes them, but I need to find something so I can really plug up the holes a little bit better when I can't find. Okay. But I saw this one guy, he runs a channel. He's been around for a while. I don't remember his name, but he just uses his finger to block off the intake here. So that should just give me a good enough idea. All right. And then this is going to go into the impulse here. Make sure it's snug. Hey, we got Jasmine as a baddie in the house. Says OMG. Jasmine, what up, what up? Happy Wednesday. Happy Monday. Hope you're doing good. And hopefully you had a good weekend and also find yourself with some nice weather like here in California. Beautiful weather. Blue sky, sunshine, warm weather. Really nice. Really, really nice. And it's a good day because we fixed our pressure and vacuum tester. Let's see. Liam says, I had 100 subscribers. Damn. Got that triple digits. And our friend says, thank you for your wishes. Of course, man. Appreciate you. Thank you for being here and taking time out of your day to hang out with us. 00 says, no rubber gasket. For like these little block offs here? Or what do you mean the rubber gasket? For the muffler? I think you mean these guys here. Yeah, they do have them. It's just like for the intake side, I mean, the block off I just put straight up to the cylinder there. Okay, so let's do a quick pressure test. Let's just get an idea of okay, so it is dropping, but I just feel like it's because I don't have the intake. Whoa. Ooh. I'm just noticing right now that the skirt of the piston is damaged on the intake side. Wow, I didn't catch that until right now. So that's definitely a problem. Pretty sure it's not supposed to be like that. Definitely not. What in the world? Okay, well, it seems like I just caught a issue. Because the piston looks really good, but that skirt is not supposed to be like that. What in the world? Oh yeah, that's broken for sure. I mean, it's not supposed to look like that, so it seems like I'm gonna have to do a bigger teardown just to make sure that there's no piston particles inside the crankcase or lodged in the squish bin, because that's not how this piston is supposed to look. And now I feel sketch for running it this weekend. Just a quick little test run. You guys can see the videos. Wow. That is not good, buddy. Wow. That's kind of heartbreaking. Double O says, ugh, material wear? Dude, from the pick tool, it feels rough. So I don't know if it chipped off. I mean, it looks like a chip. I mean, clearly, because that's a lot of material where it clearly broke off somehow. Oh man, well, that's not good. So doing the pressure test, just because I don't have anything to plug the intake, I'm just doing it with my thumb. I am getting pressure drop. And to really know if we have a leak, maybe it's just faulty testing because I don't have the appropriate. Let me see a vacuum test. I can just hit it with some soapy dishwater, soapy water. It's not holding vacuum either. So really, to tell if we have a leak, let me find a spray bottle or some soapy water and put some soapy water on each of the seals, and if it actually has a leak, it'll start bubbling up. So let me grab some of that soapy water. And actually, while I'm up, I'm gonna hit the bathroom just real quick. So excuse me, guys. Oh yeah. It's warm out here. It's warm. I just went inside. It's a lot cooler inside. It's warm out here. I don't know. Like I said, us Californians, anything over 65, we're like, oh, it's too hot. I mean, it's not too hot. It's just, anyhow, I don't have a spray bottle, but I just mixed up some Dawn dish soap in water. Got to be very careful with this glass. Again, I don't know if it's just my method of testing because I don't have, I mean, I have the exhaust port blocked off, but I don't have the air intake blocked off. I feel like properly. I'm just using my thumb, which I've seen it being done. I've seen it done like that before, but we are getting pressure drop and vacuum. And so the only way to really be able to tell is put a little soapy water around the rings of the oil seals and then test it that way. And if the seals are going bad, if we do in fact have a leak, and now that I know that the piston is damaged, the skirt of it, that's probably why he was having a hard time with the saw. He's like, it doesn't run, it doesn't want to start. I mean, it fired up pretty quick yesterday when I just turned it on again real quick. It took maybe what, 2 pulls to turn over, and then on half, 1 pull. But then in the one video, it took about 5 pulls to start. So that's kind of, some might say that's pretty normal. I don't know. Everything else that I've ran. Anyways, let's go ahead and check out these oil seals, man. This is kind of devastating now. Oh, man. I mean, at least it runs, but I don't want to run it with a damaged piston or leaky seals because that's just not good. You do not want that. And that's maybe why the cylinder sleeve is starting to mark up a little bit, because it's leaning out. And so anyways. Okay, so let's go back into pressure. I prefer to have a spray bottle, but I don't have one. So I'm going to just... Okay, that's enough. Okay, so clutch side oil seal is good, no bubbles. We got Anderson in the house. Much love to Anderson. Happy Monday. Welcome. Says, you there, citizens? What? I'm not sure what that means, but much love to you. Just don't understand. We got Joey Bag of Donuts in the house. Bro, let me get a glazed. Actually, I really like maple bars. Maple bars are bomb. But then again, look at me. Is there any donut that I discriminate? Probably not. Says, what a gentleman. What up? What a gentleman. What up? What up, Joey? What up? What up? Much love to you, man. Happy Monday. Okay, let's check out the... Let's check out the flywheel oil seal. Also, 00 says maybe it's leaking because no gasket at the muffler side. It does have a it did have a gasket. It's got a metal gasket, and it looks like it also had some. It might also have some gasket maker, which that's how I like to run my saws. I run the gasket, but also too I put a little gasket maker, which I have it out right now. For one, just to help it stick onto the muffler because it can be tricky, and so that way the gasket doesn't move, and just for an extra seal. But maybe the seal is bad. Maybe the gasket is bad. I don't know. We got a friend in the house, says, hi, could you turn it over to let me take a look at it properly? Sure. So right now it's just the crankcase and the top end. So there's the flywheel side, the clutch side, and there is the tank housing. Boom. Okay, let's see. Let's check out this oil seal now. Ooh, a little too much, but it's okay. Let me go ahead and flip it this way so I can put my thumb over it. Okay. Nope. So it's just a matter of how I'm testing it. But no bubbles either on the flywheel side, so that's really good. I'd much rather replace a piston than have to replace these oil seals, because these are what they call the bake lights, and they're just a little trickier to install. So at least we don't have an oil seal problem. So that's good. That's real good. But that piston is definitely a problem. Because even if it's not properly blocked off on the intake, if it has a leak, it'll still bubble over. It'll still bubble up. So at this point, we are going to go ahead and I am going to remove the cylinder head. So that way I can really get a better look at the piston, and also just look at the cylinder sleeve as well. I mean, this is why you go over stuff. Even if it runs good, you should always, especially if you like working on stuff or you just want to make sure your equipment is in good condition, it's always good to just take some time and go through everything and really take your time. Because if I wouldn't have done this and I would have said, oh, it runs, let's just clean it, it runs fine, blah, 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 I wouldn't have caught that the skirt of the piston is damaged. And either way, I wanted to test the oil seals now that I have this working again. Big shout out to LBV in the house, or not in the house. He's not here right now, but he was there when we fixed it. And he suggested, hey man, why don't you just try spraying some WD-40 in there just for now and see if that helps. And it does. So eventually I'll use something different, but Jerry Pruitt, much love to you. Happy Monday, man. Welcome. Jerry's asking what kind of motor. So this is a steel 200T chainsaw, top handle. I believe these are roughly 35 cc. This cylinder head is a Mahl. I believe that's how you pronounce it. A good manufacturer for top ends, for cylinder heads. And so it's a two-stroke. Joey Bag of Donuts says, what saw you working on? 200T, my friend. This is our personal. Got it through a trade. I traded 2 steel AP500S batteries, and I got this 200T and a 201, which the 201 I still don't know the condition of it. I don't have it here with me, but this one I picked up because I thought it may have needed some carburetor work, but it runs fine. But coming to find out, it has piston damage. The skirt of it is damaged, and but at least the oil seals are fine for now. Hey, we got Rad Dad Moody in the house. Rad Dad, happy Monday, man. Thanks for taking time out of your day to pop in and say hello. Hope your day is going well. Good start to the week. That you find yourself with some good weather, like here in Cali, man. Blue sky, sunshine, it's warm. I'm thinking maybe mid 80s. If it was mid 80s, I'd be sitting here like struggling right now. No, probably like mid 70s, but beautiful weather. But yeah, man, hopefully you're doing well. Jerry says, okay, happy Monday to you, brother. And you right, take your time and check everything. Exactly, you have to. I mean, you don't have to, but if you just really want to make sure, if you love your equipment, or if you care about your equipment, whether it's saws, whatever, check it. Just like your car or anything, really, anything. Okay, so now this wasn't part of the plan, but being that we found what we found, top end's coming off. And the reason why I want to, well, there's two reasons why I need to take off the cylinder head. Is one, just to really better assess the cylinder sleeve, although it looks good. A couple of slight faint marks coming in on the intake side. I want to be able to assess the piston better. And also, too, to make sure that there's no... Ooh, at least they put some Loctite on these. That's good. Just make sure that there's no pieces of the skirt wedged into the squish band or rattling around inside the bottom end. So in the crankcase. And either way, now that it needs a piston, I mean, this has to come off anyways. Ooh. I love that snap. Jerry says, or as asking, what state are you in? So I'm here in California, man. Here in Napa County, the heart of the wine country. Come on, baby. Oh, it's because I have the block off plate in. Let's go ahead and take that off. I'm like, why are these screws not coming out? That's weird. Come on, guy, wake up. See, it's only been a few weeks since I haven't really been wrenching on saws because I've been getting situated in the new living situation. Which this isn't the permanent spot. I'm still waiting to get into the place that I'm working towards. Got to just save up a few more pennies, but I'm slowly getting back into the saws. I have quite a few saws that are still on hold. And again, for our customers that watch our live streams or our videos, appreciate you guys for being patient, because yeah, I'm just glad. Very grateful for that. But again, like I said, it comes down to treating people right, being honest, consistent, and people will work with you. Okay, so we got mounting screws there. Did I already put the other muffler bolt screw in? Where did I put it? Okay, let's get that block off out of here. Where is that muffler screw? Oh, there it is. Okay. Right? Yes, okay. Making sure. Base gasket looks good. And the inside of the cylinder looks good. I do see a little, potentially some transfer coming in on the intake side. Like, see right there at the top. But really clean otherwise. If anything, I could always go in there with some fine Scotch-Brite or something and just kind of clean it up just a little bit, just for good measure. Oh yeah, this side does have a little transfer on it. And that is on, well, It's on the right-hand side on the top of the exhaust port. But otherwise clean. I feel like this was a rebuild, but I don't know. It sucks if they did rebuild this thing because it already has damage. Look at that. Sheesh. I don't know why Nash is crying in there. He probably thinks he hears his mama coming, but she's not going to be home for another like 40 minutes or so. Clean piston. Oh, yeah. So the rings are good. They're not seized. They're not damaged from what I can. So they're a little damaged right here. I feel like there's some wear right there. It's not even. It looks like it's kind of rounding off a little bit. Yeah. Oh, yeah. It's not. It does have some damage on the rings. Interesting. But everything, the rest of the rings look good. But yeah, clean piston. I mean, this thing, something tells me this was a rebuild. There's nothing in here. I don't see nothing in there. But we're definitely missing a piece of that skirt. So I'm not sure what's going on here. Because that's a pretty fair chunk. Jerry says, keep working at it. You will have it sooner than you think. With Godspeed. Hell yeah, man. Appreciate that, Jerry. Appreciate the kind words and the encouragement, the motivation, support. Blessings to you as well. Thank you. And Liam, we'll talk about it. We'll figure it out. Jerry says, question, do you have to rebore or just touch-up cleaning? So for this one, the way that I've been doing it, that I usually do it, if it's not too bad, I just go in there with just a touch-up with some really fine sand or Scotch-Brite just to get rid of the transfer. Sometimes I will have to use maybe like a lot of times people use like a 600 grit, I believe, to clean up. I've cleaned up gouges and stuff like that before, and it works just fine. You still have to be careful because you don't want to go and penetrate through the chrome plating, through the Nicosil. That's what they use. Or you don't want to, I mean, essentially you're still taking off material, so you have to be very, very careful. Or, of course, you can hone it, but that's a little bit more abrasive, I feel like, and you just have to make sure that, well, you're not reboring it and that your piston still fits good. And so it's a little tricky, but at least what I call the restorations that I've done, everything seems to have worked out and cleaned up nicely. And then I just kind of clean up the finish. And so, which I do have some pictures of that on Instagram, which eventually I'll post on here. So I just have a lot of stuff in the camera roll. But yeah, this is weird. This is a weird one. I mean, it does have some transfer. I can see it where the piston came in contact with the sleeve. And part of the piston ring on the bottom ring definitely has some interesting wear. It's like rounding off. It's not just a straight line, if that makes any sense. So this is an interesting one. I don't know what would have caused this to chip off like that. Which connecting rod looks I mean, everything looks really good. I mean, I don't understand. I don't see any snags on the ports. Although actually, hold on. So if it's sitting like this, so the exhaust, so it's gonna sit like this. Oh, that's on the intake side. No, wait, hold on a second. Hold on a second. So we're like this. And it's gonna sit down. No. Orientations are screwed up, buddy. One sec. Wait, what? Okay, so hold on a second. So here's the top. And so just Jerry Pruitt says that piston needs to be changed. It looks like someone chipped it before putting it in. Yeah, something happened, but I feel like I'm catching something right now. So, oh man, my phone is on 13%. Shit. Do I have any? I don't have an extension cord long enough to. Okay, might have to cut this one off soon. But so something that I'm catching here. For those of you that don't know, so when you have your piston and you're about to mount your cylinder head over your piston, typically, usually, I mean, all the time, I feel like, there is an arrow, okay? That arrow needs to go towards, like the direction of the exhaust. What I'm noticing right now, so the exhaust is on the bottom, right? So this is we're looking at it from the top. Right now, the arrow is facing like this. So meaning towards the direction of the intake. It's supposed to be facing down in the direction of the exhaust. So, and correct me if I'm wrong, I'm pretty sure that is how it's supposed to be. Whoever did this did it all wrong. Because if I were to remount the cylinder over the piston, that arrow is going this way in the direction of the intake when it's supposed to be going down in the direction of the exhaust. So the arrow is right here going up. This is how it would mount. And look. So definitely a rebuild. That just tells me right now that this was a rebuild top end, and whoever did the rebuild screwed up. And this is the first time I've ever seen this. And that's actually pretty devastating because, I mean, I don't know. Maybe they didn't really know what they were doing. Okay, I'm self-taught. I'm still learning, and I'm still always going to learn. But I just caught the mistake, and that's maybe what caused the skirt from breaking off because it wasn't installed correctly. So that's it. That's what caused. I'm positive that's what caused the skirt to snag and break off. And where did that piece go? I don't know. Because it's not in here. So that's it. So it's going to get a new piston. It's going to get installed the right way. And Jerry, that's right. And so like Jerry says, the same thing for vehicles. You gotta You just got to follow the arrow. The arrow always goes in the direction of the exhaust. It's like your outlet direction, essentially, from what I understand. So this top end, whoever did it, didn't do it correctly, and that could have simply came from rushing, not taking your time to really focus, maybe lack of experience. I mean, hey, I've made mistakes. Of course, I've made mistakes, and I'm gonna keep making mistakes. But so I don't know. That's a bummer, because this definitely, now that tells me that this was a rebuild top end, which it didn't make. It started making sense, because this is way too clean to have the exhaust looking like that, and the clutch cover looking like this. I mean, it's just, there's no way the top end would be that clean, unless you're putting it in a parts washer. But either way, that hasn't been ran very long. And now it makes sense why the gentleman that I got this 200T from was like, I'm just tired of this saw. Nothing but problems. It doesn't want to run right. I don't understand. Well, I found the problem. We just found the problem. The top end was installed incorrectly. So, and this is why it's good to check your equipment every now and then. And if you go to buy used equipment, if you're going to go buy a new chainsaw, take some tools with you, open it up, and just do your best to go through it. Because again, before I took this apart right now, the saw was running. I just posted some videos on our channel running the saw. On one of the videos, it took 5 pulls to get this started. Which again, sometimes some might say that's normal, but I don't know. I haven't really had saws that take that long to turn over and start. And I was running it. I was ripping it. And now that I think about it, one of the videos, I thought I heard it lean out a little bit. It didn't have that little sputter, that 4-stroke sputter. And now it makes sense. I mean, I don't know. So, but that's the problem, guys. Jerry says, please charge up your phone and get back to us, brother. This is very interesting. Also says, take pictures to show the customer. So this is actually our personal saw. I got it through a trade. I traded 2 steel AP500S batteries for this 200T and a 201, because the gentleman that I traded, he was just sick and tired of the gas. He's like, these things just don't run right. You fix one thing, it runs good for a minute, and then it stops running. And he maybe just doesn't have much experience running equipment. He was going to pay me cash for the batteries, but then after just being a chatty Cathy and asking questions, and I was like, so what do you run? What kind of equipment? I run saws. I have a couple saws. I'm like, which kind? And he was like, I don't know. He's like, they're just tiny, small little saws, pruning saws. And then so I started asking more questions. Come to find out, he had this 200T and a 201. And I did my best to contain my excitement. And I was like, oh. I was like, okay. I didn't even say, oh yeah, those are great saws. I was like, oh yeah, like those are good saws, And he's like, yeah, I'm just tired of them. That's why he was switching over to battery powered equipment, because he just was having too many problems, I guess. And so I took a chance, and I said, hey, well, instead of paying cash, would you be interested in trading? And he got kind of thrown off. He's like, what? He's like, you want that? You want those things? That's literally what he said. He's like, you want those things? I said, yeah, I mean, I can, I like messing around with stuff and blah, blah, blah. And he's like, just the saws, and I can take the batteries. I said, yeah, I mean, if that's cool with you, and here we are. And here we are. Boy, what a discovery. Jerry's asking, so do you fix it, repair, and resell? So I definitely repair. So I do everything right now from just general repairs, tune-up services. I do modification work like muffler mods, timing advances. I do port, not very much. I think since I started doing my own thing about a year ago, I've ported 5 saws, and I had good success, except for um, I can't call it a six because I did make a mistake on this last saw that I have, which I still need to square away for the customer. I went too far, and so it's doing quite a bit of free porting, which it doesn't run. So I need to just buy a new cylinder for it. But really, right now, I just specialize in sharpening services, my cleaning services, general repairs, and modification work. So either um, OEM muffler mods, or just bolt on stuff like West Coast or the Egan stuff. Um, so, and like I said, I do some porting, but really right now it's just a lot of just general repairs, services, and just some um, general mods. I would say like muffler modifications, bolt on modifications, um, and then cleaning. That's what I really kind of um, specialize in too, is my cleaning. So, and it's all by hand, no ultrasonic cleaners. Although I really want to get one eventually, and so yeah. Jerry says I need to see your work. I like mods; they are very interesting. Yeah, I know, man. Mods, if done correctly, there are some benefits for sure. So if you want to see more of my work, you can check out my Instagram, so Preferred Sawworks, or you can check out our community tab. I started posting more pictures, just like everything that goes on Instagram, and I've been doing my best to spruce up my Instagram wall. I have so much stuff to post. I post a lot of stories, but those go away after 24 hours. But I've been posting a lot more on our wall, so more permanent posts. So you can check out everything there, before and afters, like before mods and cleanings and things like that, for sure. Liam says I'm getting one of those cleaners. Yeah, ultrasonic cleaners are badass. They're really worth it. JC Long Care says I'm back. Did you finish? And I also didn't hear how I could get a hold of you. Yeah. So JC, so quite the discoveries here. I'm gonna see if I can charge my phone somehow. I need an extension cord. We're on 4% right now, so let me try to find a. Let me just see if I can charge up my phone while I do this. Okay. I do have this extension cord. I just don't know if it's gonna reach, but we're gonna find out. Okay, it's meant to be. It does reach. Let me see if I can mount up, make sure it all, see if I can make it sit properly. Okay. Hey, it does work. Okay, we're doing good. Okay, let me see if I can, because on these iPhones, the power cord is on the bottom. So I'll see if I can get it to stand up straight. I'm gonna put it against my cup of water since it doesn't have anything in it now. Well, it does have a little bit. Let me see. Okay. Maybe I can leave it on like so. Ooh, it's not working. Oh no. Guys, I'm cooked. Hold on. The outlet is not working. Shoot. I'm on 2%. Oh, cool. We got it. Whew. I almost lost you guys. I had to reset the plug. Let me see if I can get this thing to stand up. Oh, man. Okay. Okay. We got success. So it's 12:47. So, like I said, I was trying to be kind of wrapped up, but being that I had to take the saw completely apart, I have quite the mess going on. It's nothing too bad. I just my girlfriend's sister comes home for her lunch break from work, and obviously I can hang out and do my thing, but I just try to give her, you know, her space just so she can enjoy her lunch and whatever, you know, just be courteous. So, but we'll be all right. We'll be all right. So yeah, JC. So if you want to get a hold of me, man, the best way would be on Instagram. So Preferred Sawworks. That'd be the best way to get a hold of me. You can message me anytime, and I post a lot on there as well. That's basically my main platform, and then of course YouTube is also. But anyhow, 3:47 here. So 3 hours? No, 12. Yeah, 3 hours ahead. Okay. Jerry says 2:49 here. JC says I don't have Instagram. It's all good, man. If you have any questions, you can just comment on any of the posts on our community tab or videos. I do get the notification, so so you can just send me a message there, and then we can go from, or you know, comment, and we can go from there, man. But yeah. So for those of you that are just coming back, it went from a general inspection. We were gonna clean it up, assuming that everything went good. The oil seals tested fine. I don't have the proper block offs except for the exhaust here, but I just had to block off the intake with my thumb, and so I was getting pressure drops, which if the oil seals are good, they maintain pressure. So just to really make sure that it wasn't just my testing method, and to make sure that they didn't have an actual leak, I just grabbed some soapy water with dish soap, poured a little bit over the seals, hit it with the pressure, and it was fine, because if they do have a leak, it'll start bubbling. But as I was doing the pressure test, I just kept moving the crank, so the piston was moving, I was going up, and I noticed through the intake, while I was checking that, there is a nice chip missing from the piston skirt, which to me, I was like, that is crazy, because I was just running the saw. It was ripping. I felt like it was kind of leaning out a little bit, possibly. But after further just like looking at things, looking at it, looking at the piston, I also realized the bigger problem, and this is my clear indication and telltale sign that this in fact was a rebuild, a replacement top end, just because I was like, there's no way. I mean, the saw itself is clean, it's pretty clean, but the cylinder is almost pristine. On the inside it looks okay. It does have some piston transfer now that I have the top end completely off. The base gasket is really good though, really in good condition, almost it's brand new. But the saw has clear wear and tear. It did get a little warm at one point. The clutch cover is another telltale sign that this saw was used, because there's some discoloration there. Obviously the outside too, the exhaust, the part of the the exhaust plastic right there is getting hot and melting. And also too, the telltale sign that this saw was ran, and ran pretty good, is the muffler. So when I saw this, when I started looking at the cylinder and I started seeing, I was like, that's just way too clean. Like, no evidence of it even getting the slightest bit hot or warm. The piston looks super clean. I was like, well, maybe he just, I don't know what was going on. So this was the main discovery. Piston skirt damage. Definitely not supposed to be like that. And then after just looking at the piston and just messing with the saw, handling it, I noticed the arrow. So I know some of you already know, but for those that don't, even in vehicles, the arrow has to be going in the direction of the exhaust. So I was looking at it, I'm like, wait a second. Oh, and another thing that I discovered is that the bottom ring does have some odd wear and tear. Normally it's just one straight up and down mark or wear. This thing is kind of like curving off. It's rounding off the bottom. Long story short, I come to find out, and now I know that this definitely was a rebuild or a replacement top end for the original top end that was on the saw, because whoever replaced the top end and installed this top end, installed the piston, they made a mistake on the orientation of the arrow. So this is the top of the saw, right? Handles here. If I were to go to remount the cylinder head over this piston, that arrow is going straight up in the direction of the air intake. It should be facing downward in this case, going in the direction of the exhaust. So whoever installed this piston and top end, they didn't do it right, which could be the reason why this got damaged and why it just wasn't running right at one point. So that's the main issues there. So long story short, this has to be replaced. The piston has to be replaced, installed the right way. So arrow facing, in this case, the way it sits like this, has face down, going in the direction of the exhaust, like this. And the arrow right now is going up, straight into the intake. It does have some transfer that could easily be cleaned up a little bit. It's not a huge deal. The piston or the sleeve is still really nice, but just for good measure, we'll go ahead and clean it up. DNC Reptiles in the house. DNC, much love to you. Happy Monday. Says that's a 50cc. Not quite. So this is a 35, I believe. 35cc. So a little smaller than a 50. Close. Halfway, more than halfway to 50. So that's crazy. This is the first time, and I've seen in the year that I've been working for myself, or running my saw shop, I've seen a few things. But this is probably the most interesting. So now I'm curious who and where they got this top end done. Did they do it by themselves? Maybe, and it's okay if they did. Maybe maybe they were in a hurry. Maybe they didn't really know, and that's fine, because I don't know. I'm still learning too. I've made my mistakes that are pretty simple, or common sense, and I just, maybe I was in a hurry or whatever the case. And I'm just like, man, if they got this done at a shop, man, that's interesting as well. So those are the discoveries. Broken piston skirt, or damaged piston skirt, damaged bottom ring. They're not seized. They're fine, but it is damaged. So I have to replace at least the bottom ring. But the biggest part is the orientation of the piston is wrong. And that's obviously going to cause problems. So there's a lot going on at this point now. Thankfully, though, the oil seals are proving to pass the pressure and vacuum test. And so, yeah, man, I'd much rather replace the piston, though, than these oil seals, because these bake lights are not that fun. They're just tricky. They're brittle. So that's it. DNC, yes. 2-stroke. Yes, sir. Or ma'am. Sorry. Liam says, just run it. You'll be fine. You don't need that. Send it. Just send it. Grant says, yes, all saws are, unless it's not. Sorry, DC, I missed your first comment. DNC, so the piston rings are, I mean, they're okay, but the bottom piston ring does have some damage. And just to be on the safe side, I will replace it. So JNC says, I'm pretty sure it's 25 or 35. Yeah, so 35. It is a 35. So yeah, quite the discovery on this 200T. So at this point, we're not going to do any cleaning on it. Now I just have to, at some point soon, replace the piston, do a little cleanup on the cylinder sleeve, just to get rid of some of that transfer, and then put it all back together. Obviously, test run it, of course, right? And then before I put it back together, we'll do the cleaning, but that's going to take a little bit to get all the, to get what I need here. And but yeah, at this point, that's where we're at. So needs a new piston, skirt damage. Bottom ring is slightly damaged. I'm going to go ahead and replace that just for good measure, which is also probably why it was struggling to start at some point. But either way, the orientation of the piston is not correct. So that's the biggest problem in itself also. And clean up the sleeve, and that's pretty much it. So that basically concludes the 200 this live stream for now. Tomorrow we are going to do another live stream. I'm going to do my best to do it a little earlier. I wanted to do it today at 10 o'clock, but I had to start getting dinner ready. We're doing it's called chicken tinga, so I had to do some prep work, put it in the slow cooker, and so it's cooking up right now. And so basically that's going to be that's why it took a little longer to do this live stream. But tomorrow, start a little earlier, because I have my buddy Alonzo's 440 here that I also picked up from where I currently have the saws stored at my buddy Victor's yard. And so we're going to do a piston replacement on that, reassemble it, give it a little cleaning. And I also need to order a rewind spring because it needs a new rewind spring. And then once that part comes in, repair the rewind starter and go from there. So, and then I think the day after that, because let's see, tomorrow's Tuesday. Well, I go back to work on Wednesday. The 2511, that might come on Saturday. I'm not sure. Or maybe we can crush both saws tomorrow. But I need to do some part swapping. So that's kind of the plan for tomorrow. We're for sure going to do Alonzo's 440, get the piston replaced. I already have the piston. He gave it to me this weekend or on Friday. And then go from there. Oh, and then eventually also go through our my 028. It does run, but since I got it, also through a trade, I haven't really inspected it. I haven't checked it out. I just know that it runs. It does need some work, carb work. It needs the chain brake replaced. It may need clutch work as well. And what else? And then just a good little cleaning, but it's a really clean saw for sure. So yeah, that's the plan for these upcoming days. Alonzo's 440 tomorrow. Maybe do the 2511. If not, maybe do the 028. Just go through that and do an inspection on it, and then in the days upcoming from that, 2511, and eventually get back to this once parts come in. And then we still have Big Bertha to put together as far as the muffler. I'm going to go pick up the screws for that today. It still needs a new piston. I already cleaned up the cylinder sleeve. For those that don't know Big Bertha, it's our 661C, and yeah, so we're getting back into the swing of things, man. We have to. I miss not being in the full swing of saw work, but we're getting to it. We're getting back. We're coming back. Dean says, hell yeah, brother. I can see you know your stuff. Have a great day. It looks like a beautiful day, man. No, it really is. Beautiful day here. I mean, yeah, we are in spring, but I think we're due for some rain here in a couple of days or a few days again, but we'll see. But it's really nice today. It's actually on the warm side. So clear blue skies, plenty of sunshine, beautiful sounds, birds are out. Just really beautiful day. Beautiful. Fresh air. But appreciate you, DC. Appreciate that, man. Appreciate the kind words and for hanging out with us today. Really appreciate it. Liam says, whose saws is yours or a customer? So this one is ours. This is the one that I recently just added to the collection along with the 201. I didn't bring the 201, so I need to go get that out of storage and go through that because I don't know the condition of that saw as far as running. I just got it through trade with this one, the 200T, and then the 201. And the 661 Big Bertha, that's also ours, and the 028 is also ours. It's a AV Wood Boss with the electronic quick stop, and then the 2511 is also ours, the Echo. So Jerry says, check the spark plug. Thanks, brother. Have a good day and dinner. Appreciate you, Jerry. Appreciate you. Yeah, no, the spark plug is brand new. This thing is new, man. Good old NGK BPMR 7A. Looks good. Bad to the bone. Fan Rock says, enjoy yourself. And as Wisconsinite myself, always grab a bag of bags. What? I like the username though, and I like the picture. But I appreciate it, man. Appreciate the kind words and everybody that was here today. This live stream was amazing. You know, we're again, and I know some might say, yeah, sure, but really, you know, we're not here for a million views or 1,000 views or just anything. You know, as long as we got a couple folks in here and watching and just being able to do what we do. Connect over things that we like, and just either way, just to hang out. It's amazing. It's a great time. But today's live stream was nuts, man. We had upwards of, at one point it was almost 260 viewers, and the last time I had a live stream in the hundreds was quite a long time ago. But either way, since we started our live streams, you know, it's always like 20, 40. Either way, man, we have people, and I really appreciate you guys for stopping by, and for those of you that keep coming back, even more so, appreciate you guys, and even those of you that are just passing by and end up hanging out with us, you know, I really appreciate you guys too. I mean, I appreciate everybody. You know, everybody's always welcomed here. I've said that since day one of our live streams. Everybody's always welcomed here. Doesn't matter if you're into chainsaws, if you're not into chainsaws, if you just want a cool place, hopefully a cool place to hang out, you know, a welcoming place. That's what we're here for. And even though this is a saw channel, we do a little everything here. You never really know what you're gonna get, you know. So I'm happy to be here with you guys. So I've met a lot of cool folks through our live streams, and it's just the beginning. So we've only had our channel for a year, and when I say our channel, I mean yours and mine. So anyhow, so that's my spiel. Just want to say thank you, and you know, I'm very just want to express my gratitude to you guys, and it's just been a really amazing journey. So yeah, let's see. Bad to the bone. Fan Rock says, I fix saws myself. Sorry if I type. I'm on my phone. No, it's all good. It's all good. No worries. So, another fellow saw builder here in the house. Bad to the bone. How long have you been doing that? Or how long have you been working on saws? Because I've been working on saws for about 2 years. 1 year professionally, meaning 1 year at a power equipment shop. That's where I got started. That's where I fell in love with this stuff. And then about a year now as Preferred Sawworks as my own little business. 4 years, okay. So you've been in the game then too. You've been in the game. So right on, man. As long as you enjoy it, just like anything, you know, as long as you enjoy it, it makes you happy. You know, this working on saws, it makes me happy. It stresses me out at times. Sometimes there's pressure, but at the end of the day, I just can't get away. I can't get away. Can't get away. Especially if you do good work, there's always going to be pressure and stress, especially when, you know, you you provide a certain standard to your customers, and then they always kind of expect that, and they should. But it's pressure, especially when you do good work and you put some pride into it, you know. So right on, man. Thank you for being here, and hopefully you'll catch us again. You know, you come around and hang out with us, and you know, because as much as I hope that everybody that watches our live streams, hopefully they can pick up a little something from me, from myself. But really, a lot of the times I learn a lot from you guys too. I really do, you know. So, and that's one of the great things about these live streams. And just a quick little backstory before we get going here. Um, I started doing these live streams just as like a background thing, just to kind of test the waters, because really the the idea behind the channel, which it still is, it's hard to make independent videos on certain topics. But so I was like, you know what, let me try the live stream stuff. Let me just see what kind of audience, what kind of, you know, what the live streams are like on YouTube, until I start making videos, like actual, maybe like how-to videos, instructional videos, things like that, running videos. And it took off. It took off, and it's been great. And here we are. It's been amazing. So I would say about 99% of the time it's positive, encouraging, everybody's cool. Every like maybe 1%, maybe every now and then we get that little wave of some silly people coming in, and or you know, goofies as I call them. But even then it's cool, you know, it's totally fine. So, and that's all I care about. So anyways, guys, I'm gonna get going now, but I appreciate everybody that was here. And you know, to be continued on this 200T, quite the discoveries, but we'll see what happens. So for now, much love to everybody. Peace.